What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm here to bring you part 1 of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. So I got the game yesterday and this is my first video, and this will be the only video on my channel today, but I will bring out the others, some more, hopefully at least this week. But just look at the sponsors. First of all, I just want to say that I've named my team Shadow Racing, but in the next video, from the next video onwards, that will be Shadow Racing F1 team. So obviously just looking at all the sponsors, we've got Loop and Pacifico as well. Shark, Distort, and I can't remember the others. I'm going to go for Shark because it's got a good budget and it's also only got the objective of 5 championship points over the course of the season, which is going to be helpful for us. Going to the engines, we've got Honda, Renault, Mercedes and Ferrari. Ferrari obviously the best and get the high end but costs the most. Honda the worst, Renault and Mercedes in the middle, but Renault is one that I wanted to go for. Now we've obviously got all the team options. I'm not going to actually pronounce the ones that I don't know, but obviously the obvious one is Nick De Vries, and at the other end of the spectrum it's obviously completely different. I didn't want to go for one of the best drivers, but I also didn't want to go for the worst, and I'm going to go for Mick Schumacher like most people. I believe some people are going to give Mick Schumacher regarding the fact that obviously the name Schumacher is massive, but he's also a driver that I can feel that lots of people, including myself, can make perform well. So to clarify, Shark is primary sponsor, Renault engine, and Mick Schumacher as a teammate. And obviously being able to do the car design, livery, choose a logo, I'm just going to skip over all of that and show you that now. So the logo I've got is a black sort of triangle background with red and white, and our car red, white and black, and the lines on it is the same. Now I have kind of 10 races, 16 races or 22. I think it's fairly obvious I'm going to choose 22 races the full season. And the settings for this, it's going to be full qualifying, 25% races, formation up is going to be off, and I'll put the out level here at 101, but I do have to turn that down to 99. I'm going to try to keep it at 99 for the whole season. It's really, so there might be some races where I need to turn it up and where I need to turn it down, but obviously we'll find out through the season. So simulation damage as well, safety car on, manual race starts, and looking at the assist, quite surprised about driving moves on that. Thought you could do end out of season only like on last year, but you can't. So now to assist, everything off apart from corner lines and suggested gears. So now we are going to move across, and that takes us to an interview with Will Buxton.
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Hello folks, and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out, though, as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. Now, there's a rich history of that in Formula One too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team, though, is that while the team itself is new to Formula One, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens this season, you've already made the history books. Tell me, do you feel up to the mammoth task of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
So the first one here, I choose to go for the left option, which is saying it's a lot of work, but I'm happy to take on the task and obviously believe in myself and the team.
Every team needs 2 drivers, but what was it that drew you to your teammates?
So this was asking about why I chose Mick Schumacher. I decided to go for the top option, which is finding right for a team, and that one that understands we're new and is appreciate the opportunity that we're providing, which is to actually get them a seat in Formula One.
No one aims to finish bottom of the table. Who's the team you're aiming to beat?
So now we've obviously got the options of Williams, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri and Haas. Obviously the obvious option would be to go for Williams. They're the worst team on the grid, but for some reason I went for Alfa Romeo. It just seems to be calling out to me for some reason, so we're going to be entering to be Alfa Romeo Racing.
How are you expecting the car to feel out on track?
So for this one I wanted to big up one part of each of the team in one of the questions, and for this one I decided to go for the left option to help the aero.
The other teams now have years of experience, both on and off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them?
So this one I decided to go for the bottom answer to big up the power unit. Obviously it's very complex, and I feel we've got plenty of room to innovate a competitive ERS system.
Overtaking is a key part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way?
So for this one about overtaking, I decided to go for a light car which helps in top speed and both through the corners to big up the chassis as well, so that we're still keeping up the process of improving every year.
And finally, which of your new departments are you most proud of?
So this one, obviously the last question, I think it's pretty obvious we're going to go for the right answer, which is to help the durability, saying it's a very good department and it can sort out problems.
Well, that's about all we've got time for here. We will see how this fledgling team fares in its first Grand Prix.
Okay, great, thank you. That's a wrap.
So after the interview with Will Buxton, we are now at the team headquarters and just having a look at the facilities. Obviously we've got aerodynamics, chassis, powertrain, durability, exactly the same as we ended up in 2019. But now we also have personnel and marketing, which is completely brand new. And now having a look at the R&D tree, this is going to be very interesting because obviously it's a new game system and we're actually the third best team at the moment. So we've got 3 of the little powertrain ones along with the can't remember what it's called, along with another upgrade, I believe it's the Stators, I can't remember, yeah, the Stators, to put ahead of McLaren, Renault, Red Bull and AlphaTauri. There's also some question mark ones there, so I'm not entirely sure what they are. I thought, okay, possibly they are ones that we'll get when Renault upgrade their engineering, because that's how it works. But then you go to chassis and we have 2 more. So we have the central under tray and improved energy source cells. For that one, that puts ahead of Alfa Romeo and some other teams. Chassis, we've got aero, we've got 2 of those, and that puts us ahead of Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, Haas and Williams. And then this is interesting on durability. Obviously we've got 2 little ones, but that's interesting because this didn't have a performance chart last time, now it has, and at the moment we're ahead of McLaren, Renault, Red Bull and AlphaTauri, and obviously Ferrari are the best one at the moment. Having a look at what we can do now, we obviously have to choose some activities that we can fill for this. So we've got 9 days to fill before the car reveal, so I decided to go for the aero and chassis, and that leaves us 2 days of nothing before the car reveal. We can't do anything else there, so we have 5 days to fill from the 7th to 11th here, so we can't choose a 7-day one, but obviously we've got the choice of the pre-season driver tour, the pre-season merchandise sale, pre-season advertisement campaign, driver training camp and power and durability focus. We can't choose power and durability focus because of the way that worked, but I decided to go for the driver training because it will help Mick Schumacher. It will give us some resource points to help him improve his experience, racecraft awareness and his pace, so that should be quite good on that front. So we've now obviously filled in all the activities and everything. I'm actually going to the R&D tree again and just seeing what's the best. You see we have develop, standard and rush. Can't do rush yet because that was locked, but we decided to spend 550 resource points straight away to get for the redistribution on the chassis for the rear floor under tray to improve that area of the car. So that hopefully that will come very soon, but it's quite soon, but I'm not entirely sure. And now let's advance the time to the car reveal. So advancing the time, this is pretty cool, and obviously saying about air and chassis, things like that. And now let's look at the car reveal. So that is our car for the season. Red, black and a little bit of white on the car. Very looking forward to that. And now let's go into qualifying. So here we are now, right out on track, and for Q1, this is our first lap. The end of the first lap, and you can see that puts us in 5th, and we do actually, in the end, decide to just come back in the pit because we realised we weren't going to improve. But now coming to the end of our second and final lap in Q1, we improve, and it actually puts us in P14, which I have no idea how I even managed to get into Q2. I didn't expect it. So I was very shocked at this stage, to say the least. You see Alexander Albon was fastest, and Richard Leclerc in second, and Mick Schumacher, my teammate, just missed out on qualifying, getting to Q2, finishing qualifying 17th, ahead of Kevin Magnussen, Danny Kvyat, George Russell, Roman Grosjean, and Nicholas Latifi in last place. Now it comes to the end of our second of our 1-9 lap in Q2. I've been struggling with penultimate corner all weekend, but still coming up to the end of the line, we cross the line, and that puts us in 16th. Which, to be fair, I wasn't expecting to be any higher than that. I wasn't even expecting to get into Q2, but we did. So we qualified 16th, which I would say is a good result. It's still ahead of our teammate, and just by one place, and I was on the side of him on the grid. Along with other drivers, Lando Norris, Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, Kimi Räikkönen and Antonio Giovinazzi also not getting through. So I'm actually very happy with that result.
It's finally time once again to begin what promises to be another thrilling season of Formula One action. Pre-season times, subject of so much discussion in recent weeks, mean nothing now, as the cars line up to battle it out for points once again. So let's get this season underway. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
It's hard to imagine how a small operation like that could survive in the ruthless world of Formula One. And yet here they are, first ever race looking surprisingly strong. But there are no points for qualifying. Let's see how they fare in the Grand Prix proper.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Albon, Ocon, Ricciardo, Sainz and Sergio Perez, Norris, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Räikkönen, Giovinazzi, Ryder, Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen, Kvyat, Russell, Grosjean and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So here we are on the grid for the Australian Grand Prix. Look at the race strategy, 7 laps on the softs and 8 on the mediums. Personalising it and projecting it doesn't really make much difference. That's a strategy, I think, which is going to be done by a lot of people. That's why I'm going to go for 15.5 laps of fuel, just to give us half a lap extra than we actually need to make sure we don't run out of fuel, because I'm not sure how the fuel consumption is in these cars at the moment. but we also don't know how the tyres are, but that's what we're going to go for. So 16th on the grid, revving up to 5 at red light. Antonio Giovinazzi ahead of us. Alongside us is our teammate Mick Schumacher, and it's lights out and away we go. We actually get a decent start, which is very good. Can actually get starts in this game, and going to the first goal, we lost a couple of places, but everyone's going really, really slow, and we are able to go around the outside and actually get close to Carlos Sainz. And we have Lando Norris in the other McLaren trying to have a look up the inside. On side by side, slight contact, but nevertheless we maintain 10th place up into the points, which is very, very unexpected as Norris tries again, but we managed to hold him off. So obviously I think we're going to be using overtake quite a bit to hold Lando Norris off at the beginning, but now let's have a look at a replay of the start of the race. So we're right on board with Lando Norris, with Carlos Sainz, who gets a good start, instantly getting in front of the Renault Daniel Ricciardo, and coming into the first corner. He turns in, and the Force Unit just sticks their nose in, and he has a sideways moment, and that slows down everyone else, which lets us super on the outside and move up into 10th place. Lap 4 still with Lando Norris behind us, being able to use overtake to stay ahead. This time he's using overtake, but he's got DRS and overtake, so he overtakes us into turn 3. I wasn't going to defend it because there was really no point, as it was just, he's in a much faster car. You wouldn't expect us to be battling him anyway. So we've dropped down now into 11th with Daniel Ricciardo now behind us. And behind him is Antonio Giovinazzi. And that Renault Ricciardo's in looks very, very, very quick. So we just need to try and stay ahead of him. I'm not aiming for points in this race, but using overtake, Ricciardo may have a look up the inside here, but he's not close enough, so we managed to maintain 11th this time. Now coming to lap 6, Ricciardo tries to go around the outside of turns 11 and 12 very fast. It's never going to move this, so we made the right decision to back out. We're now using overtake for a bit, and Ricciardo's got DRS, so it's looking like he might be able to get past us very quickly. We're coming to the end of lap 7 now. Start of lap 7. Pit window open. That is a very cool feature for me. I didn't know that was actually going to happen. And Ricciardo's pulled into pits at the end of lap 6. So we need a fast in lap this lap, because Ricciardo's tried the overcut. Not sure if it's going to work, but obviously we don't know about all the little tyres. Coming to lap 7, obviously we're making our pit stop in this race. We've still got Antonio Giovinazzi behind us and Lando Norris ahead. So we come into the pits this lap, bringing it down from the line just in time, and we've obviously got other drivers coming in and going out. We have the Renault of, I believe it's Esteban Ocon, pull out in front of us. We're right at the end of the pit lane, pull into the pit box, engage the clutch, and it's a 2.7 second pit stop, and we now are rejoined to the track, and we're at the moment we're in 18th ahead of Raikkonen, and Ricciardo has actually made the undercut work on us, so he's just ahead of us. Actually a bit further ahead of us than I expected him to be, but he's made the undercut work. So we are in P19 at the moment ahead of Kimi Räikkönen and with Ricciardo in front of us. And coming now to the end of lap 8, beginning of lap 9, more pits are shuffling out and we overtake our teammate, and we're up into P13, and Lando Norris has also been done over by the undercut by Daniel Ricciardo. So Ricciardo's now undercut myself and Norris and is ahead of us. So we're in 13th at the moment, but we do move up to 12th later on. Just need to keep trying just need to keep pushing, and we've got Lance Stroll behind us. And now on lap 10, Ken Magnussen is out of the race, and we've got a virtual safety car. So this, for the virtual safety car for me, I always find really difficult at the moment because you need to stay within the delta, and I always lose a lot of time. Whereas the AI, they're basically stuck bang on, I would say, the minimum delta, which always makes it a lot harder for you to not lose a lot of time. But obviously we're going to try and just keep pushing, keep going, and make sure we don't lose too much time. The virtual safety car is now ending, and thankfully we didn't lose too much time, so we managed to survive that one at least. As DRS now becomes re-enabled once again, and we return to racing speed. Now coming on to lap 11, the following lap, pretty much an exact lap later, we have got Lance Stroll very fast behind us. We also have DRS now on Lando Norris, so that helps us down the straight to defend against Lance Stroll. But so we have DRS on the next lap, on the next straight as well. But Stroll gets better exit than we do, and so we use overtake and DRS. But Lance Stroll in the Racing Point, he just comes on the outside, gets ahead, but coming through turn 3, we're actually able to keep it. But on the outside, and we had to lift there and yield, because if we didn't, we were heading straight for a crash. I really want to finish this race. I really don't want to end up in a crash at any stage at the moment. That would have ended up in a massive crash, and we wouldn't have finished. So because I couldn't place the car where I wanted to, and Stroll was obviously going to place the car where I was, so I just had to move out of the way and let that place go. And Pierre Gasly was the one behind us, but he didn't end up challenging us for the rest of the race, and we were able to cross the line P13. I'm very, very happy with that result. Obviously, you wouldn't expect. Obviously, that's what you would expect. We wouldn't expect us to be up there. I actually got driver of the day, but our picture doesn't show up for some reason. But 13th place, I've qualified 16th. I'm very happy with that result. I didn't expect to finish anywhere near that. Now look at the race results. So Lewis Hamilton won the race, also get the fastest lap, with the two Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel in 2nd and 3rd. Alexander Albon finished in 4th, Valtteri Bottas in 5th. And Esteban Ocon did a brilliant job to finish in 6th place for Renault. Ahead of Max Verstappen, who you would expect to be in 4th place or even top 3. Carlos Sainz finished 8th for McLaren, with Daniel Ricciardo making it double points finish for Renault in 9th. And Sergio Perez is rounding out the points scoring positions for Racing Point ahead of his teammate Lance Stroll. Lando Norris finished in 12th for McLaren, while we finished in 13th. A massive result for us. I honestly didn't think we would finish in the top 15 even, maybe, but we managed to, so I'm happy with that. The leading AlphaTauri after this race is Pierre Gasly, with Antonio Giovinazzi in 15th. Kvyat in 16th, 17th was Kimi Räikkönen, 18th was my teammate Mick Schumacher. We're actually keeping on pace, looking according to the lap times. And then there's Roman Grosjean on 19th, George Russell in 20th, Nicholas Latifi in 21st, and Kevin Magnussen obviously not able to finish the race. Look at driver standings, obviously exactly the same as the race results. Constructor standings, Mercedes leads the way 3 points ahead of Ferrari, with Red Bull in 3rd, Renault a further 3 points behind in 4th, with McLaren on 4 points and Racing Point on a singular point. We're in 7th, which is good for us. But we also haven't scored a point along with AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas and Williams. So we're all just 1 point behind Racing Point, so we need to try and improve that through the season.
Race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
So we're still clear in the game, obviously, and I'm going to actually go for one with the aero to improve, saying the car just sticks to the track with the downforce.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
So this one, I just say I am thrilled with the sport, and that improves our acclaim with that answer.
Appreciate your time.
So that's the interview done with Claire, which I didn't know we still had in the game, to be fair, for that moment in time. But we do, and now we have some more activities to add. So we've got some choices here. Can't exactly remember what they all are, but nevertheless we've got some of them. And they're all 2 days apart from one, which is, I believe that's a driver press conference sort of thing. But we're going to go in the end for aero team building. It will improve the car, and it fills up the full 2 days anyway. So that will takes us some of our cash, but improves the aero, which improves the car. So I'm actually very happy with choosing that one before the next race weekend. That's been it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please get a big like, comment down below your thoughts, subscribe if you're new for weekly F1 content. You can follow me on Twitter at Shandy82. As always, a link to that is down in the description, and I will see you guys next time.